Why are you playing? What?
Oh!
Back.
God.
Of course, having to come back, I gotta do something horrible
coming.
to Morgan within the first 30 seconds of being here. I know you all, I know it's mostly legions of Morgan fans, but I gotta have some Casey holdouts somewhere in there, and, you know, I hope you guys, like, just turned back on the video last week, like early Metallica fans. But yes, it's good to be back. And we have way too many comics for me to ramble, so...
Yeah, no, this is just a tremendous shipment we've got here.
Yeah, huge even.
Gonna start off with something I'm super excited for. This is Uncanny Avengers number 18 point now.
Wow.
I wouldn't have said that, but it's printed on the cover. This is part 1 of the Avenge the Earth storyline, where, spoilers, if you didn't know, last issue of Uncanny Avengers, the Earth kinda got blown up. Yeah. But there is now a floating mutant utopia in space, ruled by Magneto and his Brotherhood, and the last remaining Avengers are Havoc and Wasp, and they've got twins, and Beast is in this, and Daniel Acuna is on art duties finally to Rick Remender. It's beautiful.
And Magneto has an awesome beard.
Yeah, he's rocking the beard under the helmet.
Really badass. A classic reprinted from the master Walt Simonson. If you were in the mood for big guns and bigger sound effects, this is your comic. Star Slammers is, you know, well, it's space mercenaries with some weird Aztecian type of stuff. But yeah, it's, you know, Walter Simonson from back in '82. It was one of the original Marvel graphic novels, which was really cool. But yeah, there's no bad Walter Simonson comics.
Yeah, if you thought there weren't enough guns in his Thor run, but you love the giant helmets,
yeah, if you want headgear, I mean, look at the headgear, and it's badass. First issue recolored.
Out from Avatar Press today, we have the first volume in trade paperback form of Kieran Gillen's Uber, following, of course, the Super Nazi program. What more do you need to know than that? It's an Avatar book, so obviously there is copious amounts of gore and beheadings and disembowelments.
Serious war.
A lot of that being Nazis, and everybody loves seeing Nazis get disemboweled.
Mike Mignola's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it worked. One of the two big Marvel releases here this week that we are going to shove down your throat, even if you don't read Marvel Comics, because I don't want to hear it. I do not. I don't care. I look at Marvel Comics. I don't read a lot of Marvel Comics.
Well, you don't read much of anything.
Shut up. But this is something that I actually will read. Dan Slott, Mike Allred, Silver Surfer. I mean, look at this. Look at the logo. The logo alone let you know that this is going to be amazing. But Mike Allred coming off of FF, which we were sad to see him, you know, leave. But
if there's anything he could have jumped onto.
I mean, people have been clamoring for a good Silver Surfer comic. I mean, the last time they gave him cancer and he moped around on his board for like 4 issues.
But it was really pretty cancer.
It was really pretty well, that sounds weird, but it was.
Sounds
it was Assad Ribic. But you know what? Silver Surfer, it has nothing to do with anything. Don't worry about it. And it has the Empiricon in it, which is, well, it's too epic for me to really tell you about it. So you just gotta see.
Super exciting release from Image here. This is the 3rd issue of Rick Remender and Wes Craig and Lee Louridge's Deadly Class. Following up on the introduction of the series' first antagonist, who has a certain fondness for farm animals. This is also following the first assignment for the Dark Arts class that
really cool.
Marcus and his new friend Willie are going on, where they have to hunt and exterminate a homeless man. Yeah, that's the kind of book this is. If it's not what you're not about murdering vagrants, that's cool, but you're really missing out here.
Yeah. This is like my favorite book on the rack these days, honestly. Like, I got caught up on that, and it's just straight up like 80s gutter punk, dirty comic stuff.
Yeah, they like hang out in crypts. Because you know, even the assassin school has the weird kids, and the weird kids hang out in crypts.
Yeah, they do. Always. In graveyards and stuff. Oh yes, issue 2 of the greatest 80s movie that has never been seen, Vandroid, by Tommy Lee Edwards, Noah Smith, and Dan McDade. Last issue saw the birth of the Vandroid and the death of many unfortunate people who stood in his way. And now the Vandroid needs the chemical that is in the perfume. Why, you ask? Well, you know, he's an android made out of van parts, so you don't question it.
Yeah, you really don't.
Absolutely. And if you guys didn't, join the Vandroid fan club and check out the Synthy 80s soundtrack that is online.
And save the awesome fake posters as your wallpaper, because you know you want to.
That's right. And at this time, now that we have the whole team back this week, we're going to throw over to Mr. Will, who is going to bring you through some nice horror stuff and some Marvel stuff, as usual. To Will.
Arg, mateys, it's Amazing X-Men. It's X-Men versus Demon Pirates. Arg! Okay, enough of that. Amazing X-Men 5, Jason Aaron and McGinnis. This is the big showdown between Nightcrawler and the X-Men. Azazel and his Demon Pirates for the sake of billions of souls. The fate of Nightcrawler. One X-Man sacrificed to help Nightcrawler get back to the land of the living. And a cameo from a long, long lost member of the icons of the X-Men family. Plus, it's the Battle of the Bamps. It's red Bamps, it's blue Bamps. It's just amazing art. We're so happy. Thank you, Jason Aaron, for bringing Nightcrawler back, but obviously it's not without a price. Another big showdown and wrap-up actually this week is Guardians of the Galaxy 13, The Trial of Jean Grey. The verdict is that this is awesome. Gladiator and the Shi'ar, of course, kidnapped Jean Grey because they were going to put her on trial for her crimes as the Phoenix. But what they didn't know is they've kind of triggered and evolved. I mean, you've basically taken the Tempest and you just shook it. And Jean Grey evolves. One of the original X-Men makes a huge decision that affects the continuity of this book and other books. Really great showdown between Guardians. I love the interplay between the Guardians and the all-new X-Men. Brian Bendis did a great job. But really big book, the big conclusion. Lots of new directions after this one. For something really creepy and weird and strange. The Wake, I mean, it's just amazing. The first part of it, if you remember, was much more of a horror, sci-fi, set in the near future with kind of zombie, vampire mermen attacking this undersea lab. And then it took a break, it jumped 200 years into the future. It's kind of like, if Waterworld was cool and directed by Guillermo del Toro, that's what this would be. And so you have this bizarre new world. Our heroine has evolved into something really strange, but are the monsters gone that caused this weird thing? It's beautiful. Scott Snyder of Batman, Sean Murphy, spectacular. Let's keep the horror going with you. How about a little zombie basketball one-on-one? This is George Romero. Pretty much, if George Romero had a big giant budget and he could do a big super sci-fi, lots of CGI zombie movie in a place like in New York, this is what he could do. And he's working with Alex Maleev. Empire of the Dead, you know, zombies are kind of ruling the streets, but there's weird, crazy vampires in the seats of power. So what's a poor human to do? So a couple of really cool heroes in this as they try to figure out what's going on. What's the deal with the vampires? Are the zombies learning and evolving? Pretty much everybody's on the menu. It's going to be a big feast, but really creepy, really cool. George Romero, it's a great George Romero movie in a comic book. So there you are. Now let's keep the sci-fi going, but a little bit, can you feel the love? Because I feel the love for Alex and Ada by Jonathan Luna. Once again, it's kind of a weird love story of boy meets android girl, and he kind of wants to evolve her, and there's this weird secret group for people who love androids and the androids who love them. And he did something to her programming. And so how's that going to evolve their relationship, and how could it even evolve like this weird new robotic society that depends on robots for everything? So those are my picks this week. Back to you guys. Arg. See you guys.
Thank you, Will. And just for the record, Waterworld was a badass movie, but only because Dennis Hopper was in it. You can kind of fast forward through the rest of the parts.
But the whole Kevin Costner peeing into a boat for 2 hours thing kind of outweighs anything good.
Okay, maybe.
Speaking of good things, it's that time of the year, only comes every once in a while, but there's new Chew trades! Oh my god! Because I know you're not following it in single issues. Okay, I don't know that, but only like 5 people in the world are.
Yeah.
This is the 8th volume. This is Family Recipes, following up on the tragic death of Tony Chu, not Tony Chu the main character, but Tony Chu the main character's twin sister.
Just to be confusing.
Yeah, 'cause, you know, why not? He has to, of course, because nothing not disgusting ever happens to him, he has to eat his sister's toe to learn her secrets. And that forms the basis of this volume.
You wouldn't have it any other way, would you? From John Layman and Rob Guillory, who are amazing.
As always.
I'm gonna reach over here. You know, it's like Rick Remender week, actually.
really is.
Because Rick Remender's putting out a crap load of comics.
There's new Black Science.
Yeah, it's close.
Long
Actually, we got
effect
second prints of Black Science 1 and 2 in, so if
So
you
there
didn't
you
get
go.
that, you can get your Black Science on. Goes quite well with Manhattan Projects, or Manhattan Projects. Wow, I lost that A. That A just was gone. Anyway, this was the first thing that made me love Rick Remender. This is Fear Agent Omnibus Volume 2. This collects the rest of the series. As you can see, it's quite massive, but it's only $50 because the monkeys at Dark Horse somehow magically make things cheap. But yes, if you are enjoying anything that Rick Remender is doing right now, any of his like 5 books, this is where he really started with the crazy, hard-drinking,
self-loathing,
you know,
just-
in-your-face sci-fi. It's got Wally Wood, Jack Davis, EC stuff. You need to buy it.
Yeah, it's got art by Tony Moore. I don't know why I was forgetting his name. I have another T. Moore's name floating around in my head.
Yeah,
And Jerome Pena, who he
Yeah.
has worked with on countless Marvel projects.
Yes, who's only gotten better as time is going on.
Oh yeah. Also out from, speaking of Marvel, we got the first issue of the new Iron Patriot series, featuring James Rhodes under the armor this time, taking over for Norman Osborn. You may have seen Iron Man 3, where he was wearing the red, white, and blue armor.
Coincidence?
But this is written, of course, by Arlish Cott, because we can't talk about nothing by him any week.
No. Who's going to be here for a signing April 2nd.
Drawn by Gary Brown, who recently did a fill-in issue on Five Ghosts. This is full of the same kind of intrigue and espionage and awesome sci-fi concepts that we've come to know and love from Mr. Cott.
Yes, very cool. And the second of the highly anticipated Marvel books. Again, if you don't read Marvel Comics, don't say that to me. Just shut up and buy this comic. Ghost Rider, #1, by Philippe Smith and Tradmore. We've talked at length about Tradmore. Philippe Smith, he does, I never get the name right, it's like Pichu.
Peepo Chu.
Peepo Chu, which is a really great kind of manga action in your face, Adam Warren-y
Yeah, he's
kind
one of the
thing.
few American people to actually get paid to draw comics in Japan.
Yes, which is really quite a high honor. But yes, this is the very cool Mike Del Mundo variant. But the idea is that it's Robbie Reyes, who's kind of this Hispanic kid who works on cars. He's a gearhead, listens to Daft Punk, and they are foregoing the motorcycle, which you might cry heresy at this moment.
But I mean, there's been like 5 Ghost Riders with motorcycles.
And the last
Deal
one
with
had
it.
tits, so they just had to chop that whole thing out of there. He's got a badass hot rod, and oh my god, is Tradmore...
You've heard us gush about him on the Luther Strode books.
It's
This
better.
blows everything he's done so far out of the water.
It's amazing.
Yeah. With that, we're gonna cool down here.
Reverengen's back a minute.
Yeah, send
Put
you
it in
over to
neutral.
Anna. She's got a ton of great stuff because the good comics do not end this week.
No.
Hello, comics. Just in case you forgot, Sandman Overture #2 came out this week. There's been some timeline delays on when this book is coming out, but if you see the interiors, you'll wonder why it didn't take an extra 3 months for this book to come out. J.H. Williams is going nuts on this thing. We also have a new graphic novel by Danica Novogorodov. I think I said that right, from First Second. It's kind of all ages, but probably more of a teen read, based off a Chinese tradition of having to find a corpse bride for a corpse as it passes into the next life. It's a really complicated story about family, modern tradition, but it's amazing interiors that she did on watercolor on rice paper and then hand inked it before she did the digital treatment. It's pretty interesting looking in a good way, but with beautiful colors. I said interesting like I doubted myself, but it's good. I know Casey's going to talk about this because he wants to make out with Simon Roy, but this book is amazing. It's a collection of his short stories over the past 5 years or so, starting with art school stuff, all the way to current short stories that he's done. If you don't remember Simon Roy, he works on Prophet, which is one of our store's favorite books. I also want to remind you that Helheim is still a continuing story, and this is its first trade paperback collection from Oni. It's a fantasy Viking story about a guy who gets torn apart in battle and is put together by magic and dead body parts and is now a killing machine looking for vengeance. I love Vikings, I love fantasy, and I love horror, and it's one of my favorite books. Oh, but I can't say that it'll top Manhattan Projects. This is the latest issue that leaves you with one of those ending moments of like, oh my god, Hickman, why? Which I don't do very often, but I did during this issue. If you forget what it's about, it's what if the greatest minds of science were bad and everything went horribly wrong. But sci-fi that's not wrong, and it's all magical. It's Leo Roa, the new book by Juan Jimenez, the artist for the Meta Baron series from Jodorowsky. It's kind of like an epic everything. Everything is epic in this book. The journalist is looking for glory, and he goes time traveling, finds murder, finds love, and possibly himself. It's amazing, and Jimenez is one of the best artists of our time, and I can't believe he put something new out. It's beautiful. So those are all of the books I picked for this week. Not all of them. They're going to talk about the other ones that I like. So back to Casey and Morgan.
Thank you, Anna, and that was a monster stack of comments.
Yeah, for real.
Got through quite efficiently. But yes, to, double up on this,
Yeah,
Jan's Atomic Heart.
Emphasize how awesome it is.
Everything that she just said and more. You need to buy this because it is awesome and it is only $14.99. And yes, I do want to make out with Simon Roy. I'm unabashed about it. He's large and in charge, and it's very,
It's the beard that does it
It's
for
the
him.
beard, dude. It's the beard.
Another really, really, really cool thing out this week from part of the creative team of Prophet. This is the, I think, 6th Empowered Special, Internal Medicine. Adam Warren this time is teaming up with Brandon Graham, who is doing most of the interiors in this issue.
80%.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about this. It's fun.
Basically,
just like Empowered, there's lots of cheesecake.
Yeah, Adam Warren has been one of Brandon Graham's kind of heroes throughout doing comics. Adam Warren was one of the first guys to actually do English language manga back in the Dirty Pair, and it's great to see them work together and just let Adam, he just goes crazy on it. And if you've been, aching for more multiple warheads, which is far off in the distant lands of whatever, we have this for you. And it's got this really cool ad for some strange wrestling on the back, which I'm intrigued.
Yeah, always down with the strange wrestling.
Yeah, always down. And that's about it.
Yeah, as far as cover of the week goes,
Cover of
though,
the week,
gonna have to
yeah.
go shout out to
Mike
this
Del Mondo.
variant on Ghost Rider featuring the hamster of vengeance. 'Cause, I mean, what? Flaming wheels? Giant hamster wheel. It just makes perfect sense. I don't know how
really
I've done that
does.
before.
No, it really does. And real quick, I have to shame everyone because apparently no one's buying this comic. What the hell is wrong with you people? Stray Bullets, David Lapham, this is the #1. It is frigging amazing. One of the best crime comics ever made. No, this is not new this week. No, I don't care. You need to buy one. Buy one for your friend.
You should probably listen to him.
Yeah. Yeah, cons this week, so we hope that you all stop by before you, to kind of get the warm-up, kind of pre-game a little before you get to the con. And, yeah, that's about all. It's good to be back, and, yeah, I miss my work.
I didn't miss you at all.
Fuck you. Alright, see you guys.